What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching the very first episode of Failcraft, the game where I critique my own performance for your information and amusement. The idea for this came from my desire to basically just create some content, any kind of content for StarCraft 2. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and the best thing I could think of was commentating a game. But, of course, there's a million commentators out there, and they're way better than I am. So I figured I would put a little bit of a twist on it. Basically, I'm not too good at actually playing this game. I want to get better, but at this point, not so good. After my placement matches, I was placed in the Bronze League. Now, I tend to think that I have a better idea of how to actually play the game than that, but it doesn't quite turn out that way in practice. So, in an effort to get better, obviously something one always does is watch replays. So I figured, why not watch those replays and kind of recount them live for you. So we can kind of experience my growth as a player together. How sweet, for lack of a better word. Anyways, myself, the blue Protoss, against the red Terran. I did play random for this game. It is on the ladder. My opponent, Delou, or whatever. Myself, Zhalseran, which is just a name that I've used on the internet for a while now. It was the name of my first World of Warcraft character. Anyways, here you can see my probe scouting out, which is good. Scouting is one thing that I always kind of tend to not do anywhere near enough of. I did hit both watchtowers on the way across the map just to potentially scout for any proxies that may happen. Of course, this map, Shakuras Plateau, it is a 4-player map, so it's not too likely, especially considering my opponent hasn't scouted my base out yet either. Both my opponent and I getting our barracks and gateway up respectively at about the same time. And here, it's a little bit slow placing down my cybernetics core. My probe was kind of sitting around here for a little while, so if I'd gotten that down faster, my zealot could have blocked off the wall and prevented this SCV from getting in. And there I misplaced my zealot a little bit again, a little too far up, and the SCV manages to get out, whereas if I blocked him off, he would have lost that SCV. Nonetheless, I am up in the probe count by 5. Although I suppose he did take some time to build his orbital command. I'm just now getting probes onto this gas. It's been up for a good while, but considering I'm only now getting probes onto it, really I probably should have spent minerals on a second gateway here. Could have gotten out the stalker a little bit more quickly. And really, when you're just using them as a wall here, 2 zealots, not all that useful. And we see down here my opponent is building a hidden expansion way down in the corner of the map. Of course, I have yet to scout out after my initial pass with the probe, so I have no idea that it's there. It's completely unprotected. Not a whole lot I can do about that, not knowing it's there though. Warp gate technology researching there. No chrono boost on that. I did chrono boost it once, I believe, but for some reason I'm chrono boosting out a second stalker here, which I don't really know what the point of that is, considering I don't have any plans for any early aggression. My macro is kind of slipping a bit here, up to almost 600 resources. So at this point I should really should have thrown down these 2 gateways a bit quicker, or maybe even expanded with my resources that high. Still no scouting on my opponent here, so I have no idea that he's got his factory. I have no idea that he has tanks. I don't know if it's at this point, but at some point I do see that he has a block here. Let's see here. Yeah, I do see that, so I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world that I am unable to know what's going on. I do have a robotics facility up, so that's a pretty good alternative. Going for a 3-gate robo here. It tends to be my preference just because I think it's a little bit more versatile than a 4-gate push. And really at this point I don't know what's coming at me. I just know there's a barracks and 2 supply depots. Do those have supply drops on them? No, they're not square. Anyways, this base, still nothing going on down here. It's building some SCVs. Really that should be an orbital command though. Throwing down another barracks. And at this point I'm ahead in the probe count by about 10. So I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping up my probe production, which is another thing that I kind of tend to fail at. And by now my resources are starting to they're at a good place. With these warp gates up, I can really stay on that a little bit more. Although my sentry is kind of trapped there due to bad building placement and a bad rally point. Really, I only made that so that I can force field my ramp if necessary, though, so it's not that big a deal. Here, my first observer is just about done. Really, I should have a pylon a little bit closer to my back rocks here, so I can tell if someone's coming before they're actually at my base. It'd be nice if I had a watchtower too, so I could see if someone's actually attacking me. Although I am moving up my forces here, and based on my minerals, it looks like a good time to expand. Really, I should be applying some pressure, or at least moving my force out to kind of see what's going on here. I do have blink, so my stalkers here should be pretty mobile. That's something they should be able to do. Keep in mind that I still haven't scouted out anything past this front door here. I should really have my stalkers out looking around for expansions, because at 11 minutes into the game, any sane player would have an expansion up or going on. And of course this expansion has been up forever now. My own expansion is about halfway done, and for some reason I decided to build 2 assimilators. I guess the theory there is that I'm going to need extra gas production to match extra mineral intake. My main base here is pretty much perfectly saturated. What's that, 24? Yep, exactly 30 probes on minerals, 6 on gas, so that's the perfect saturation there. Looks like I moved my force out a little bit, and for some reason decided to back out. Again, really, I should be looking around. If nothing else, I should take one of these zealots and be checking out all the bases to make sure there's no expansions that I don't know about. I only sent these zealots out because for scouting, so I mean it makes sense to actually scout around with them. They're just kind of sitting there at this point. Has my observer gone out yet? Yeah, my observer came in here and got nailed by a missile turret. Not actually the turret, there's my opponent has these marines here that saw my observer and got nailed by the missile turret. Zealot's still sitting there. Anyways, in my scouting there I saw he had some tanks, so back at my base I got this robotics facility. I should be pumping out some immortals. I'm not yet. Zealot's still sitting there. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Since I don't have a watchtower, it should at least give me some advance notice if my opponent decides to push out. Okay, I decided to send 1 zealot in, so I do see that he has a few units here, so that tells me that he's probably got an expansion up, which is good to know. I decide to take this watchtower with the zealot and randomly walk away from it. Some bad control there. Looks like I just got out my second observer. Hopefully I make some use of it. There it goes. Just now getting my first immortal out. I've known he has tanks for a long time now. And really, 31 stalkers, 32 stalkers. He's got 4 tanks, 12 marauders. He just now got out a Thor. My force has been sitting here doing nothing. My zealot's just sitting there rather than taking up residence at the watchtower like I had intended. My observer's just sitting there at his front door, not doing anything. And look at my mineral count. 1,200 minerals. I should be doing something with that. I should be putting down, like 2 or 3 more warp gates. I'm just now getting probes in this 3rd gas, nothing in the 4th gas. That's been sitting there forever now. No probes in it. It's a complete waste of minerals at this point. Still nothing from the observer. I should be using this observer to at least check out these 3 spots to see if there's anything there. I don't want to go into the main because I know there's missile turrets there, but I should be doing something with it rather than leaving it there. At this point I'm starting to get mined out in the main. I transferred over a bunch of probes here. I am expanding to the 3rd here, which is good. I'm not sure why I'm getting that pylon up there. I guess I'm planning to go to a 4th there soon. I don't know. Probe's just kind of sitting there. Still nothing from this observer. Still nothing from my force. I'm up to 35 stalkers. I do have 2 immortals out now as well. No aggression whatsoever. No scouting. Look at this nexus. Almost full on energy. That's a waste. Should be chrono boosting these. Got plenty of minerals. I know I'm going mass stalker here, but I should at least be pumping out some zealots with 1,400, 1,500 minerals. Not using them for anything else. I might as well build something. I do finally move up a little bit with my observer. I see there's a little bit of a base here. I can see them moving out. I don't know if I actually catch it though. I did move my zealot back to this watchtower finally though. So between that and my observer, oh, I do actually move in with my observer. I see he's got some Vikings, which I did not know. I'm not sure that Thor Viking Marauder is the best comp, but whatever. I finally moved my force up a little bit more, trying to secure the 3rd position and 4th position here. Try and hold this kind of giant 3-way choke here. Not sure what I'm doing with my observer here. I don't think I expect there to be a base right here. By now, I'm sure pretty much no probe production. Okay, I just popped out a couple. Not really making too good use of my energy. You can see I chrono boosted a couple probes at each base right there, but a lot of energy between those 2 nexus. If nothing else, I should be getting some upgrades. All I've got is 1 weapons. But I see this force moving out, thanks to my watchtower. And I decide it's a good idea to blink on top of them. Not necessarily a bad idea, but almost half my force is in the back here doing nothing because of this choke here. I should have been microing my force forward so that everyone could get some shots in. My immortals are sitting here in the back. I don't think any of them got a single kill. Okay, this one got 1 kill. I'd say the immortals should have gone in first because of the tanks and the Thors and the Marauders, but really it's not that big a deal. There are a bunch of Marines here which could have taken out those immortals. So anyways, I finally did get my 4th base up here. Not the best game. I did happen to win it. My opponent was kind of bad. I guess we were about even on APM for what that's worth. My goals for the future: suck less at macro, be more aggressive, scout more, and suck less, basically. Anyways, this is Rambling Josh, and I'll catch you next time.